So, quite interesting yesterday. Quite interesting to have the news come out and then see a nice little pump in the markets and then see the DXY start to lose that trend that we were speaking about yesterday. Now, I think this is one of the most important charts we need to focus on today. We have another big set of news coming out later. We had the first step of the Bitcoin going back to around the 23K zone, a really nice jump and some strong momentum, some good buying volume there. Now we got the next set. Is it a recession? How's the market going to react to this? I think it may create a short-term dip, as we spoke about yesterday as well. But market did break structure. And we do have important charts to focus on today, specifically this one, as well as the Bitcoin pullback, if there is one today. And, if things go well and, we're starting to get to understand that people are they're front running this thing. They're front running the news on that, where they start selling off early, and then all of a sudden we get a reaction. And you could see yesterday, everyone was expecting, other bad news. I think the news came out pretty good. And look how the market is like drooling for some bullishness. We're so used to the bad news and we're so used to these things coming out the whole time. As soon as we get a slight bit of good news, all of a sudden we get a big ass move. And it just shows you that at some point we're going to start getting a little bit of decent news back into the world again. And you can see how quickly the market actually reacts on it. They are drooling for some gains again. They are drooling for the market to move. So this is a massive episode, guys. No more wasting time. Let's get into the show. Click it, James. Click, 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 James. James, what was that?
We haven't done it the last 2 days. You caught me by surprise.
What was that? What was that?
I was deep in the comments.
No, it's sniper time, brother.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, I hope you're having a fantastic day out there. I hope you're feeling good. It is nice to have some days where we get a decent pump out of nowhere. And at some point, again, we'll get to the good time where the markets just give us a lot of this. It takes a lot of fighting first to get through that. But we're here and we run it till the end, guys. So if you're brand new, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you're following our Telegram group. Make sure you're using all of the tools below in the description, as they'll help you keep in contact with what we're looking at. And we're just a community that have been through war together. We have been through so much, and we're just all here fighting to better our lives every day. And I think coming together is gonna give us the confidence to not be scared, to look at these new things and be like, sometimes they take a bit of time. I think we all got trapped into thinking the money comes super fast, and it doesn't. You get the money easy. And I think the last little bear months have proved to us that you work hard here. And as we know, the guys from 2017, they all reap the rewards of the last bull run, and we'll reap the next. It's about dedication now and sticking through everything. So, guys, obviously we got a big move from Bitcoin. This was good. This was really good to see that, this was the previous leg. And we spoke about yesterday the significance of this little higher low over here and what it created. We had the slight higher high that broke through. We then had the slight higher low that broke through at that time as well. This was the time of the news. The last, I think, was the interest rate hikes. You could see how the market is starting to front run the news now. not much happens on the day. And what it's actually becoming now is the big news days is actually the days when something shifts in the market and actually something actually finally happens. Because this was the reversal day when something happened, and yesterday something happened. So it is nice to see how the market are starting to. We're starting to get a picture of what the market are thinking. They start to protect their capital as these things are getting set up, and then once something happens, then we start to get a little bit of a shift and change. And I think it's going to work like that for a while until we know where the world's going and where the stock markets are going and these sort of things. I think it's going to work like this for a while, where the news are going to create these days of a change of trend or change of something or momentum. And I think we just got to follow that and see how the world, they're protecting themselves whenever they can. And as soon as they hear a little bit of goodness, they're going crazy and they just ape in. Because, yesterday, Bitcoin did pump from 20,700 all the way to 23,300. That's a big pump, 10% move in Bitcoin. Massive move in altcoins. Ethereum sitting back at $1,600. So it's quite interesting. So the way I'm taking the move at the moment is I do think there's a high probability they're talking about a recession tonight. I think it's going to create a little bit of panic. Definitely straight off if it just comes out, I think the panic's going to shoot in pretty quick. Now we're going to look at the chart wise. We've got to ignore the news and say, like, okay, what happened yesterday? We did get our first higher high in play. We did start to break trend, which was great. We have not tested the trend just yet. And if you look at a normal point of view, ignoring all of the noise, if that was the low, which it looks right now that it should be, that was the temporary low from this last little pullback. And if we look at this on a bigger scheme of how this should look as a pattern, this should be playing something where that was the impulse up, the correction down, and Bitcoin now goes for the next levels. And we've been speaking about the critical levels of around 27, 28, 29K. And that's sort of where we want to see this move that we have started, is where we will, it's how we want to see it play out. Chart wise. So the way I'm looking at it today is I do think there's going to be a short amount of panic. I think we're going to come and test these trends that we all broke through yesterday. I then think price is going to settle, and I then think we're going to start looking at the next targets. The first target is back to the 24K, and we know the break of the next target. You know what's different about when we were here to where we are now is the difference is when we were here, we had RSIs. It took a lot of effort for us to get there, and we had a lot of RSIs that were sitting at the top. We had a lot of overbought markets, really, really overbought markets at that time. Where the difference this time is we are leading up to the same areas, but we have RSIs reset. We have RSIs that still have a good way to go. Like the market's not exhausted. The market was exhausted here. The market's only just starting to find some life over here. So the better thing that we did actually want to play out is we did want Bitcoin to stop somewhere, come back, reset all RSIs, reset all the nerves, everything, and then look at the next leg, because it just gives it more power this time to really break through that 24 and really gives it the steam to actually get the bigger leg up to start getting to the more critical levels. So this is the way I'm looking at it today. There's a possibility that there is a small possibility that they don't say no recession and the market just explodes from here and it moves. But for me, as a trading perspective, when I want to start getting some live trades going again and short-term trades, this is where I'm very interested in it, is in this zone over here. And yeah, I'm basically waiting for that sort of pullback. I do think for now the bullish scenario is in play. The bearish scenario is us coming back below 22, anywhere between 21.8. We start breaking in there. It's just showing we can come down to lower sort of ranges. So I'm waiting for this little quick pullback. I think it's going to be fast. I think it's going to be very similar to this candle over here, where slight little push up. I think that the price is going to go up into the news. I think it's going to send a very fast candle down, especially 5-minute, 15-minute charts. Guys, do me a favor. Don't trade tonight's news just yet. Wait for it to settle, but watch it. Like, get your popcorn. Like, I was sitting last night and I was like, wow, like, look at how it played out last night. Like, it was actually very interesting to see. Like, this was last night for me. Was it there? No, here. 27. There we go. This was all of it last night. Like, look at all these wicks on how this just happens. Like, it just goes crazy all of a sudden. Wicks everywhere. Like, the market just goes crazy. And it's either to the up or downside. We've seen it. But, like, get the popcorn out. Like, enjoy it. And then wait for it to settle and then act on it. 4 longs, 4 shorts, all these sort of things. But it gets very interesting. Like, look at this. Like, Jump to those 5 minutes and just watch it. Don't trade it, but watch it. It's very, very, really good. So I think the news is in about 2 hours. I think about 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours from now, we're going to get some news. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see. I do see the short time frame RSIs are pretty high. So I do think we're going to have a spike here for now. I do have this very, very short-term wedge forming down where I'm basically just tracking it and just to see maybe they front run it. Maybe we get an early breakout before that. But we'll soon see after that. Now, the important chart for me, and it's showing soon because it is starting to catch a little bit of momentum, is the Dixie chart. It is starting to, the retest is happening right now. So this is the zone where it's like, are you breaking back in? Or like as a chartist perspective of this is like, this is where we want rejection. And the fact that it just shot up there now quite quickly, like the news is coming like now, like the decision time is coming now. And what we want to see here is we do want to see rejection here. And I think it comes down to the areas of 105, 104. Now, this can be enough to get Bitcoin through the 25, the 24, 25 zone, possibly. But ideally, what we really want to see is we want to see the dollar index come down to way lower levels. We want to see at least a good 2-3 weeks of downside from the Dixie. And I think that will be really good. If we can come anywhere near down these zones, which we can't rule out, because look how this thing has literally ripped for weeks and weeks and weeks. And a simple retracement back down to these levels is huge for us. That's massive. We're going to take what we can. You know what I mean? Sell your mother. Maybe don't sell your mother. Just rent her out. Make sure, you know what I mean? Put a stop loss. Stop loss. But we can have, we are going to have the Dixie reverse at some point. And today might be the day. It might be the day. So let's see. I'm looking at where this closes out today. I want to see if we can close below this today. I think it's a really good sign for us. And I think the markets are going to react pretty well. So I'm using the news later as my buying opportunity. To buy right now after the pump doesn't make any sense. But to buy on the panic of a quick push down, I kind of feel the market's already been preparing for this. This has been going around. Like, is anyone really surprised now? They've been talking about a possible recession and they're going to announce it and these sort of things. Like, we're not that surprised. A part of the world doesn't know, and they're going to find out now, and they're going to be the ones that panic out. But I feel like the front running is really becoming something quite common, especially in this last few weeks. So let's quickly look at the stock market too. So the stock market is starting to slowly rally up. Possibly at any point have a little dip off here. We'll see on the panic today. But ideally, I see the stock market going back up to these areas here, which is another 3-4% up in the stock market, which will be really good. And now the important chart yesterday that we spoke about was the total market cap. Look at the total market cap. Boom. Now, this is what you want to see as a chart. You want to see the breakthrough. You want to see the retest of the previous highs. And then you want to see explosion. And that's exactly what we're getting here. We are cracking the first higher high. We can have a small retest of this trend, but when it comes to the total market cap, this makes sense. We go up here, then we start to see, okay, this is key levels to start making decisions. But this beautiful, beautiful way we want to see it play out. Now, let's quickly jump into some altcoins. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, last thing. This is the most important chart for me for crypto. If you're charting crypto, is this. Was that trend break? And remember, I spoke about yesterday that this is bullish. Like, it does look bullish. Just see this lights changing colors here. Yeah, just have a look there. This is a bullish pattern that's playing out here, and it's showing that this next leg is as big as the previous one. So far, this is playing out. And if we can have this low dropped out here, it just means people are getting out of USDT and they're getting back into the market. And we know as long as this can continue momentum to the downside, it's very bullish for the market too. So we got to keep an eye on that. We dropped that low today. The Dixie drops the trend properly. Bitcoin retests the trend beautifully. We got a bullish week ahead of us. We got something looking really good. So let's keep attention on that. Now, we spoke about a few yesterday, as in Ethereum. You know, look at Ethereum from here. This is my bearish scenario of where we are right now. Pull back here on some news, possibly, and shoot through to here. But this may not happen. This can go from here through the 1.7, and the next range is around 1.92000. So you could see the importance. We spoke about this yesterday in these areas of where we were speaking about it, and look how that ripped off. So Ethereum is really becoming a big player for the current market. Like, look at this dominance, Ethereum dominance right now. We spoke about the breakthrough yesterday, and it's looking good. Like, we're looking at that point. We're like, wow, like we can have a serious Ethereum breakout here. and Ethereum's definitely the leader. So where does it go from here? Like, does it break through the 22%? You know, that's higher than where we got in the bull market. Like, it's higher than where we got in the bull market for Ethereum. That's really, really big thing to look at. This was the highest it got in the previous bull market. We break through here, that's the next resistance to get through. Imagine Ethereum breaks through that. So it's showing tremendous strength, and it's looking really, really, really good. So Ethereum's definitely the big player, and I showed you guys yesterday with Solana and all of these. I gave you guys the 2 different plays, and you could see how Solana bounced on it beautifully. Now, there is going to be, this is where the short entry and the short-term trades that I'm looking at, because if we now take these trends, let me just make it bigger here. We take these current trends that we were at, and we go and we mark this. There's a retest coming. There's the higher high. There's a retest. That's where I want to enter the short-term trades, the medium-term trades. I think long-term, I think right now there's no really big panic until we drop big levels on Bitcoin. But my long-term, I'm sitting in strong because I feel 29K for Bitcoin. I think it's going to happen at some point. I definitely do. And I'm keeping my long-term for that to make the next big decision. But short-term trades, this is the one that I'm looking at taking. I got Solana, which is the first one, which I'll be buying on this retest. Definitely. I'll be loading up, and I'm looking at Solana. Even just go to the top range again, 47. That's a huge gains for short-term trading. But for the real move, if the market turns out bullish and it goes all the way to 29K, Solana for me goes to $60. So we're at $40 now. Big move. You know, that's just to the top of these ranges here. Really big move from Solana. So Solana's still one of my favorites, where yesterday, if you didn't catch the support buy, I'm buying on this retest over here of the little dip off in here. And I do have stop losses in the range. I don't want to break back in there, so I'm going to protect myself there. But Solana's looking like one of them that want to boost out very quickly. You know, Solana yesterday alone, I think it did 17%. So it's definitely one of the strong ones. Same as Neo Protocol, also shot out beautifully. This one, for me, let me show you the quick higher views and show you the short-term views, the short-term trades you can be looking at on Neo. It bounced beautifully. It looks like we get into the next target of a 5.5 or something in Neo. So remember, you always want to zoom out. So you see that looks good. Then you can zoom in and start looking at, am I longing, am I shorting, and where am I looking for these entries? We can rage sideways. I don't know what that previous question was there. If you can bring it up again, James. We can do that, but for now, all that I see is the market's volatile as shit, and I'm taking advantage of that. Like, I'm definitely taking advantage of the volatile market. It's moving 10, 15% all the time, and I'm just being consistent with what the market's currently offering. So here we have Neo as well, so it looks like it might dip off just before, but the first 4-hour closeout here, I'm entering. And what I like about when we get to a trend here and we actually fight it a bit and get rejected, and then we shoot through, is you want to catch the breakthrough there, the close out there, and your stop losses are very close. Like, they're just under those lows there. So it's a really good calculated trade. And for me, the first target is it gets to the 4.7. So short-term traders, you know, you're looking at a 20% move. And higher time frame view, I'm looking at 5.5. I'm looking at this area over here as the next test. And we look at percentage-wise from where we are here, you know, 30%, 36% move on Neo. Phantom, bounce beautiful. This was yesterday, guys. This was yesterday's show. So sometimes the shows are coming out pre-recorded. Please watch them. I do them like 40 minutes before the time we usually go live. So they in the zones when I'm talking about it. It's not delayed or like these sort of things. The stuff's relevant. You would have caught these beautifully yesterday. So Phantom as well. It doesn't have a beautiful clear trend for me for the entry today, but the guys that got yesterday and the guys that are holding it long term, I think Phantom's got a good run to 40 cents to 45 cents from here. So I think Phantom is one of the movers. I'm not taking a short time frame just yet because it doesn't have a clear structure. Now Cardano's a big one, guys. It's something that's being spoken about a lot. Numbers are starting to come through, and I think it's going to really turn bullish. I think it's going to be one of the bigger movers, way bigger movers, if Bitcoin goes bullish now. I really think Cardano is going to be one of the big ones. Now, what's nice about this pattern and the way we're playing out here is we're starting to play out the bullish scenario, which is good. We're bouncing the critical stage, and we still have the next target of around 65 cents. You know, that's still the key area that we're looking for there. But what I like about this one is it still hasn't broken fully out of trend, very similar to the Neo one. So we're still in that trend. So what's great about this is the same thing. Any little dip off here, and then we start to close and break through here. It's great. You're buying the break there. You're buying any retest there, and the stop losses are going here. nice tight stop losses, and we're riding it up to 60 cents. I really think on higher time frame, I think Cardano is going to be one of the winners. I think out of major alts and bigger alts, I think it's going to be one of the bigger movers. It may even shatter through that. We'll see as we go. But so far, a move from here anywhere in these zones, 24, 35%. The guys that got it yesterday, you're already sitting in 11% profits, and you can see the different big moves that we're looking at. Remember, work your asses off to find an entry. Like that. That's the hardest part, is the entry. And I suppose the hardest part is also taking profits. It is quite a hard thing to figure out. But Cardano is the one big one. So draw this on your 4 hour, on your 1 hours. I think a 4 hour close out this trend turns bullish. Stop loss under previous low inside this area, and we ride it up. And I think it's really going to be strong. Looking at Cardano to Bitcoin pairings, also looking really good. AVAX too. So AVAX is also, it's showing here that even this is now starting to sort of break here. It can have a little fake out. That's what's where shoots here, a little bit of bad news. And then when we finally close above and we start, same thing. I'm buying up here on this retest here. I'm putting a stop loss over there, and I'm riding up the top of the range, $26 of the previous highs, 10% from here. And AVAX, bigger picture, I'm looking at $32. I'm looking at $40. I'm looking at these areas of higher patience. Yeah, patience, but be ready as well. Know what you're being patient for. If you know that, then ADA loves to lead the recoveries. Exactly. So AVAX also, and you can see I'm still focusing very much on the higher, on the more major alts right now. I feel this dominance has been coming down, and let's actually see what it did yesterday. It did have a small bounce. Remember what I said? I think there's a big bounce coming from dominance, and I think it's going to be a Bitcoin pump. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But where this dominance is at here, we are going to have dominance leading Bitcoin's favor at some point. And I think it's just going to be Ethereum, Bitcoin, major alts that are really going to make the bigger moves. And then we'll have the rest of the market catch up at any of the other points in that time. Because we got ones like Matic, bullish, right? Looking strong. It broke. Bullish coinies. Like, we got the short last week, which was really good. And it got to the 72 cents mark and 74 cents, like I spoke about. That was really good. I rode that really nicely. I did miss the long. But what I am seeing here is there is some sort of bullish trend happening over here. I think short time frame is a bit risky on Matic because it's just too volatile. It can wipe you quite quickly on short-term leverage trades and these sort of things. But I think if we really break through this and we hold strong for a spot trade in that, I do think Matic's going anywhere back into these ranges. It stopped in the middle of nowhere, of where it stopped. But for me, it makes it here. And Matic's one of the big movers. That's the $1.3 from where we're at now. You start looking at Matic's moving. It's a 50% move for the next target, just to those areas. So Matic is definitely a spot trade longer term. Theta's been lagging. This thing's going to come out of nowhere. Why is it lagging, guys? I think the biggest question is, why do some coins lag and why do some coins rip at different times? Remember, you're always going to have the shift in the different tokens, but this one is still in this phase. This one's still in the Ethereum's out of that phase, and that's why Ethereum's moving when the market turns bullish. Matic is out of that phase. Theta's still in that phase, which means dollar costing in here is beautiful, fantastic entry. But when you really want to trade it a lot and you want to start making great gains, is when we finally break out of this phase. Then you get the movement like Matic. Then you get the movement like Ethereum and all the different tokens. So just understand the difference that some coins are still accumulating and some are already moving and breaking through. So Theta's going to move, and when it moves, it's going to move. It's going to be big. So keep our eye on the accumulation and wait for the key breaks. What is nice about Theta, though, is it is ranging beautifully from here to here to here to here to here. Like, look at this range. This range is massive. Bottom to top, 40%. Top to bottom, 40%. So you got a big range here. So range trading, this is also good. And when you really want to take it seriously is when it breaks through and gets through the top ranges over there. We have Thorchain. You see, why is Thorchain not breaking like Ethereum just yet? Because it's still in that range. It's still in this sort of fighting range over here. And when we finally break through this, this is the one we want to break, guys. So for now, you range trade the tokens that are still in range. But when they break through this key one, that's the one that we spoke about, Bitcoin, 23K. Why do you think it's still fighting it? It's such a key level. But when you finally get through these phases is when you see real movements, when you see massive movements in the market. Is when we get through those. So as long as you understand where is the token that I'm trading and what I'm doing at, some of them it's literally ranging sideways. Sell top, buy bottom, sell top, buy bottom. Cool. Until they break out of these is when you start holding them a lot longer. And, you start really preparing your portfolio for the big ones. Isn't it nice? Imagine you had every single coin that just goes the same time, does the same thing, and then you miss it. And then what? Like, at least there's some coins that are falling behind and they still wants to break later. So we know what Rune does. We know how this thing moves. Like, ready to get back into action. We got it, guys. We're going to get back into action. Render is still one that I'm buying now in spot. I think it's going to be a big mover. I think it's going to the top of the range here. And for me, that's a 75% move. So Render, I'm adding in. It falls maybe under the 10% category of my spot wallets. A little bit of higher risk, but great. It really rips as well. So Render's another big one. Let's look at Chainlink. Let's have a look and see where we are. Let me clean the chart up here and show you the main things we are focusing on here. So here is the same thing. Chainlink, we know, also likes to lead. I think it's a similar time at what it does with Cardano, but it's in this little range over here. Boom. So you see that range. When we break out of that, we have one more key zone, and then we're off to the gates with Chainlink. So Chainlink, it's showing that at any point, as a long-term investor, you just got some orders sitting at the bottom there. As a trader, you're trading the range as it's going. Trade up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, these sort of things. And when you really focus to be like, I need Chainlink in my portfolio, is when we break through that range there. Because then we got a big acceleration to this move. Why? Because there's no other resistances here. There's nothing there that will stop it from. Remember, these big guys, they set these sell orders and these walls at previous zones. So here you can see there's a gap. And when there's a gap is when you get the acceleration. And we break through that one. The next one is sitting at a $12 link. That's 100% from where we're at now. So keep an eye. Chainlink's one of them lagging. And you know what's nice? Like if you literally been riding the Matic trade for the last few weeks now, and like you've been killing it 150%, 200% on that, and that starts to slow down a little bit at some point, and then you got Chainlink breaking, you can start diversifying some of your Matic into Chainlink. You know what I mean? And like start doing that stuff. Start moving with the market and riding your good ones out, but then also shifting those profits into ones that are next. Just be confirmed. Make sure that the candle closes outside here. Closes outside. Bitcoin's in a good place. We're off to the gate. So Chainlink is definitely one of the bigger ones over there. Let's see if there's any other bigger ones before. I'll be doing shows when the little ones break out and they do stuff. We'll be doing more shows on that. I just want to make sure that we have majority of the bigger one. And I do have a partner in crime, Mama Sniper. What's happening?
Hello.
What's happening?
Morning.
How are you?
It's like a child in a candy store. Like, which coins am I going to choose today? It's so exciting, eh?
It is. It's nice to see some movement in the market again. It's really cool.
No, definitely.
It's
yeah.
really
And
good
you know what? A lot of the people are, it's obviously longer term. We look at opportunities on a daily basis. So a lot of people get confused about, are we bullish or are we bearish? But we look at the daily opportunities. Doesn't mean we long-term bullish just yet. But if we're looking at longs today, doesn't mean we're looking at longs forever. Obviously, we got to see what the market tells us on the day. But
just watch the show every day. We'll tell you. We'll tell you
today. Yeah, some guys are still bearish, and that's great. But that's probably more long-term bearish. But don't miss the opportunities on a daily basis.
Well, think about it. Everyone was bullish at 60K. The opposite happened. Everyone's bearish now. The likelihood of the opposite happening is pretty high. So let's see. Let's see where we go. I look at very high time frames. I'm like, wow, these coins all deserve some sort of pump. The people that's been holding these things, they deserve something. So let's see where it goes. We trade it day by day and we take it from there. The news is impacting quite a bit. So let's see from that. Guys, quickly, I'm going to bring you back now 2 seconds, Mom. If you guys, there's going to be trading shows again. There's going to be those things. I want to make them this time that they stay and that I'm comfortable, that I'm happy. We have the education dropping this weekend, which is fantastic. Do the education, do the courses. And we're going to start this whole ride again. I want to continue the $400 to $1 million challenge. I want to continue the live trading. I just want to do it in a way that's a bit more prepared than last. And now I understand the game a bit more. And remember, guys, educational purposes only. But if you do agree with the analysis and you want to be a part of this, please use our links below. BYBIT, BitGet. You sign up with these, you get good sign-up bonuses. You get discounts on trading fees, and you can see all the tools below. So have a look. It does support the channel, and it does allow me to bring this to you guys a lot more. And remember, guys, BBS. I want to see your charts. I want to see them. I'm going to start going through them. I'm going to start giving away the 10x accounts. I want to see how I can do it on BitGet. If you sign up with our links and I see your chart here and I like your chart, I want to start giving away money away to the guys that are starting to actually help us with charts, help us with information. I want to start rewarding these guys. So if you come and you post your chart here, I think post your charts with your ID number on your BitGet account, and I'm going to start choosing 10xing accounts from guys that are. I just want a place where there's tons of charts, tons of alpha, free alpha out there, and this is good. Everyone can come see. It's not only Sniper's vision; you can see everyone else's vision. So look to sign up below and be a part of it, and I think it'll be really cool.
It's very nice because you actually, I was playing on there yesterday after we had mentioned on the show, and it's actually so amazing to see different points of views out there. And I think that's where the diversification comes in. I mean, some of those charts are absolutely amazing. There's some really, really smart people out there. And I think it's so nice because we can all learn from each other, and everyone's got different trading styles. So going and seeing different indicators that people are using, it just helps you go and see what indicators are people using and see what appeals to you, because I mean, there's probably hundreds of different ways of actually trading, and one might appeal with you and one might not. So actually just going onto that BBS platform yesterday, I was very, very, very surprised. And I loved it. I was working through everyone's charts, and it's
actually very
a
fun.
lot of information there.
Yeah. You were speaking about doing, I'm sort of done with an analysis for now. You were speaking about maybe doing a little bit of education or something. What are you feeling?
Yeah, sure. I mean, let me show you my view on Bitcoin quickly as well, and what I'm seeing, and obviously just on Theta quickly. And then I think a lot of questions that have been coming through is
I'll share your screen there.
Is the stop loss. A lot of people are battling to understand how we do stop loss, and I think you can jump in with me on that one. But I'll show now how do we look at stop losses? How do we set our stop losses? And we'll show you a basic now of how we do it. And Sheldon, I think you can also share from your point. So Bitcoin, I'm quite excited. I mean, we worked on this chart and we actually posted on BBS. So any of the guys that are on BBS would have seen this chart already that we were discussing a few days ago. Bitcoin's been in this trend from March, this trend line that we had over here. And if you actually count, Bitcoin has tried to break out of this trend like 9-10 times. It's tried, it's failed, it had a little bit of a fake out, tried again, and we're there now again. So it's very exciting. I'm sitting with glued eyes on this trend line at the moment to see what happens here, because I mean that's a 4 months where Bitcoin, we do have higher. There are higher time frame resistances as well. So that's why we're saying we're not bullish or bearish quite yet. So this is a bit of a shorter time frame, talking 4-hour, 8-hour chart. And obviously you get the daily resistance areas, which are sitting up here. But it tried, it failed again. And now we're sitting right there at the moment. I mean, if we zoom in, it had a bit of a fake out last night. It wicked out. It didn't close out of this line, but we are right there busy fighting at the moment again. So short-term bullish for me as soon as Bitcoin breaks out of this retest, this resistance line over here. And that's actually quite exciting, some action for the day. Theta, if we look at Theta, so yes, Theta is still in that range, this bigger range over here. If we zoom in, that Sheldon was showing earlier. I have seen that it's been doing ABCs down, ABC up, ABC down, ABC up, ABC down. And now I think we're busy with the ABC up to come and retest this top level over here. I do have a trend line. If we zoom in on an earlier time frame, I do have this trend line. It broke below the trend line. It's come back up now to retest this trend line. So I am looking at possibly entering at about 120, but I will draw a trend line rather and wait and see to make sure that it stays here, because if it breaks below here, we could be going down to the bottom of the range. But this is the area that I'll be watching. I've got a double resistance sitting over here at about 1.30. So we've got a resistance line going down, and we've got a resistance line coming up, and they're meeting at this point over here. So for me, if Theta does break through this area over here, that's very bullish for me, and I'll see it going back up to the top of this range and over here, and then obviously waiting for the break of this, because if we do break this top part of the range, oops, let's go back there. If we do I see Theta could come to around $2.12. So eyes on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks that range for us, and Theta will show me here on this area over here where we've got the resistances and the support. And then obviously this is the major one. Yeah. So very exciting. I love it. There's always something
and I
chart
see the
every
market's
single day.
looking a little bit short-term bearish, bullish here towards the news. So
Yeah.
let's see. I think it's going to go a little bit up, quick wick down, and then a little bit of recovery and continuation. So I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, okay, so let's have a look. So, I mean, there's different ways of doing stop losses, and you must remember stop losses are also determined on what time frames you are trading on. So, I mean, if let's just get to a bigger screen here. Is my screen frozen now?
Yeah, maybe just refresh it
Okay,
there.
let's go out of there.
So I think while you're doing that, okay.
Okay, no, it's fine. Carry on. I'm just going to refresh here. I'm going to go out and go back in. I see it's frozen.
Okay, cool. So I think the main thing is, guys, we're just going to chat quickly, a quick chat on stop losses. I do have the educational videos popping this weekend that show you exactly how everything works and how it uses and stuff. But I think just remember the one core thing when it comes to the stop losses is to use these tools over here. Very simple. Your long position tools, your short position tools. You know, look where Bitcoin is right now. Act on what the chart is showing you right now and structure for either way. Either way it goes, up or down, structure for both. So I'm seeing Bitcoin come down here. That's where I want to buy it. I don't want to come back in here. So that's the area I don't want to go because then it means I can come all the way back down. So it means I'm never afraid to enter the trade. I'm just calculating risk. So I can use this little tool over here, long position, short position. I can put the long position tool in over here. I could say this is the area that I'm buying. This is the area I don't want to go. I don't want to go here. I don't want to go below that. And I can drag this little bar down, the red one, and it's showing me a 3.4% risk. 3.4% risk is the amount of money I'm risking on this trade. Where am I seeing Bitcoin go? I'm seeing it go to 25,000 as my first example. Now I put this down there, and you can see it's calculating my risk beautifully because it's showing me that I'm risking 3% of my capital, 3.5%, and I'm looking at 11 to 12% reward from Bitcoin. So you could see how it just works it nicely. And what it does for you in the middle here, it gives you your ratio, risk to reward ratio. And this is great. As long as it is always above 3, 3 is basically my minimum. It's a good trade. You know, you're risking 3% to 4% of your capital for a 12% gain. And that's all that trading is. Yeah, and that's all that trading is in that sense. It's just calculating where I'm buying, what do I do if it goes wrong, and what do I make if it goes right? And this is great for me because if I ignore this and I say I'm trading Bitcoin for a 12% move, this is trading. This is not just long term. Longer term, we jump to the daily and we swing it and we give it a lot more time to do what it needs to do. But for this current move that can happen today or tomorrow or over the weekend, now I want to be very strict on it. So that means if it does go to 25K, you better take your profits. Like, don't ignore it. You've just calculated your trade before you took it. This is what I'm taking the trade for. So stick to it. If it comes in here, don't move your stop loss down. If it goes up there, don't move your take profits. Like, it's very important to stick to that. So use this always when you're long in the market. When I'm using the analysis every day and I'm giving you the trades and I'm giving you the different views of, like the Solana trade, for example. Here's the Solana trade. You know, I want to buy anywhere in these areas here, and I don't want to come in here at all. So I'll put this little bar over here when you're entering the trade. I don't want to come in here. So I'm risking 5% of my capital. I see Solana going to the top range, which is 23%. So I got a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 4 here. That's good. As long as above 3, that's really good. So it means I'm entering the trades today. I don't want to miss it if the market does explode. And I'm risking 5%. So don't be so calculated. Like, I'm putting $1,000 in now. I lose $50 if it goes wrong. Like, very simple. You know, I make $230 if it goes right. So I make 4 times more what my loss is if I get it right, and I lose $50 if it goes down. Put that in, put your stop loss in play, put your take profit in play, and stick to your analysis. Don't change it. Don't move your TPs. That's the problem, is people, they change their decisions when the trade's in action. They either drop their stop loss lower or they do this or do that. Before you enter anything right now, make your decision and make it final. That's it. Don't change your mind. Don't change anything. This is how I'm doing it, because one thing we've learned is you think very, very differently when you're in the trade. But a third party, you make so much better decisions. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, if you got a trading buddy or something, actually do that, because you will be in the trade and you'll be thinking, no, this thing's going to do this, do that. Ask your buddy that's not trading to third party to it. He's going to be like, no, but the chart's showing this. Like, why are you longing now? Because the chart's giving you this. And like, it's crazy how your mind makes you think the way you want it to think. Like, it plays tricks on you. So the third party view is this. Before you've even taken the trade, you make the decision. You set out the whole game plan and you take it and you don't change it. You don't change anything about it because you looked at it in third party. You've acted now. Now you don't do nothing after that and you allow it to do what it needs to do. So use this on all the trades today. It's very important. NIA's breaking right now. So as a charting view, we do have news coming. We do know that a wick can come at any point and these sort of things. So prepare for that. But as a break here, and we close this 4 hour, it's in an hour's time, and it's very close to the news time. We close above there, and we're in this little range. You want to practice your risk and stuff, right? This is where I'm loading up. This is where my stop loss goes. So I'm risking 3%, and this is where we're looking at it going. A 4.4, 1 to 4.4 is my risk to reward for this trade right now. I work it out. I sit here for a few minutes. I work it out. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm taking it now. There, you've calculated it now. You've worked it out now. Now stick to it. Buy it. Put that stop loss in. Put that CP in. Goodbye. Worst scenario, it comes in here, stops you out, and it goes way lower, and you do it again. Or it goes right, and it shoots through there. Don't move your TP. Don't move your things. Take your damn profits. Turn your computer off, and come back when there's good analysis again. Use the shows every day to fuel it.
Yeah, we were talking about risk management this morning, and I think it's a good time to just add that in here for the guys as well. Is that, when you plan your trade, stick to it. Stick to it. There will always be another entry. Don't get greedy, because that is where addiction starts coming in, and that is where you start losing money. If you've done your calculations and you know where to get in and set your stop loss, just stick to it. Don't worry if the market goes in the other direction and you feel like you've lost out. The market will always be there every day. There will always be a trade for you. So don't worry. Rather have risk management, rather protect your capital, and stick to your plan. Even if you've set a take profit zone, take your profits, close your computer and go and have some fresh air and spend time with your family. Don't get addicted to wanting more or revenge trades, or now you've got a taste of having some more. You really got to keep that under control, and it's got to be a discipline that you practice every single day. So your stop losses, your take profits, doing your own analysis, your DYOA, do your own analysis, and taking time off. Give your mind a bit of a break as well. And obviously, if you make profits, spend a little bit on yourselves just to reward yourselves for that. But for us, we see a lot of it of where people get addicted and they just don't want to stop, and you actually end up losing more money. Just plan your trades, stick to the plan, take time off. You will end up making more money. Self-sabotage. You'll end up making more money than sitting and staring at a screen the whole time, trying to fight trades the whole time. So yeah, that is important.
And add another thing as well, guys, is we're prepping for these trades now, like taking these trades and stuff. Always take into account as well that the news gets very volatile too. So for me, it's a bit of an entry here, let's say on NIA or something like that. And I know we're going to hype it up towards the news. Just be aware that there can be a quick wick at any point. And for me, like, as long as you understand the conditions of the market, you're not afraid of it anymore. We know that in 2 hours, this market's going to get volatile as shit. Like, it's going to get volatile. And the fact that you know that now, it just gives you a little bit of idea of planning your next trade too. To be like, I'm taking a little bit here and these sort of things. But I want to catch that wick. I want to catch that panic. And at least it doesn't end up with any surprises as well. So just put yourself in the world as well of where we're at and use the simple tools. Have you got your screen shared there now? Do you want to show them quick? I do have tutorials coming out that's going to show them a lot, but I think
we've got some good tutorials. Yeah, Sheldon's been videoing his butt off for everybody. So there's some really good tutorials coming out. Yeah, sure. Let's share screen quickly. Okay. That's better now, huh? It's working. Okay. The reason why I'm showing it here on BYBIT is because we've seen a few questions come through now in the chat this morning as well. How do you set the stop loss? So I just want to quickly show something, obviously, on the charting side here, and then I'll just show you on the spot where to set the stop loss. But so basically what we'll do is, and you got different trend lines, and it all depends which way you are drawing your trend lines. I mean, you've got stop losses that can be set if you're working on horizontal supports and resistances. We've got, let me just hide that one over here. You've got diagonals, and it also depends on what time frames you're working on. So for instance, if I've entered a trade now Bitcoin, I wouldn't want it to go lower than the previous low, and this is how Sheldon and all of us, we actually look at it, because currently, okay, it's working over here. Let's get the pen going. It's working, and we wanted to do that. And obviously then you would draw your trend lines and you would set your stop loss just underneath those trend lines, because if it's going to break below there, it's going to start a pattern going downwards like that. So use your trend lines as analysis of where to set your stop loss, or use the previous lows, because you don't want it to come down past the previous low. If you following the trend lines and buying on the trend lines, because remember, you don't want to buy the tops. We're not buying the greens. We sell the greens and we buy the red, and that's a mistake. People see green, 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 green. Oh, it's green, it's green, it's green. Let me buy. But we know it's going to come back down. So if you've missed it and everything's green, you wait, because this is where it's easier for you to set a smaller stop loss. If you bought up here, okay, let's use this. If you bought up here, the previous low is here. You're going to set your stop loss down here. That's a huge, huge loss. You rather wait for a retest. It's closer down. You draw your trend line. You would have bought here on the breakout. Sorry, I know my drawing's a bit messy now, but you would have bought here on the breakout, and your stop loss would have gone underneath the previous low, because you don't want it to go make a lower low. So that's how we figure out what the stop losses are. And obviously it works the same in reverse. If you're in a short, you draw your trend lines in the opposite direction. So we use lower lows, and it depends on different time frames. So this is a 5 minute. So if we want to do quick shorts in and out, we will use the 5 minutes as our stop losses. But if we want to be in a trade for a few days, we'll go to a high time frame, buy on a retest, and set your stop loss just below the previous lows. And whatever you set it is. So for instance, okay, so we know now Bitcoin. Let's just change that over to over there. So currently we wouldn't want Bitcoin to come lower than 22819 over there, which is the previous low, 22819. So we would, let's quickly take a market order here. Have we got one already in here? Let's see. Trade history. Okay, so we've already got some Bitcoin in there. So let's go. So on the spot, all you would do is you'd click on your, so some of yours would say conditional, but you can just click on the drop box and you push take profit or stop loss over there. And your trigger price would then go in over here. So if we see, okay, 22, let's make it 22800.
Just remember to be in the buy column, eh? If you're buying.
If you're buying, yes,
buying
but
and
now
selling, yeah.
I'm setting a stop loss, so I'm in the sell, yes. So buying is when you want to buy. I'm setting a stop loss to sell, so now I'm in the sell. So I'll take my stop loss, and I'd say, okay, so my stop loss, I don't want it to go lower than this over here. So we would say 22800. Okay, and 100% will take the amount of Bitcoin that I've got available. We'll put it in there, and I'll say sell.
And your order price, your order price.
Let's just, I did.
You got to set that range.
Yeah, 22,800.
And the order price?
To buy.
Load? No. So that order
I'm
price.
not buying at the moment.
Yeah. But you got to set the range. You got to set the range as a stop loss. So 22,800 and 22,700 as the order. Yes. Remember, you got to set the range.
In between, yeah. So
yes,
so that it doesn't just buy, it just doesn't sell at the 22,800. Yeah.
Perfect.
So now what it's showing is 22,700. So it can sell anywhere between 22,700 and 22,800, or 22,750, whichever amount I want to put in there. And then I can go and sell my Bitcoin. Now, current orders open. It will be sitting over here currently, and it will obviously wait there until it hits there. But at least you're protected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you got your stop loss in play. That's it. And a nice little one there. If you just go to the buy section, just go to the buy. to the top right there, to the buy.
Up here, this side. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can set it at the same time.
Yeah, then there's go to the market, like the market or something. Like let's say you get into near, then you can click on that, and then it usually has that little TP thing that's there. I don't know if it has it there on the limits of that.
That's
but
more on
once
the
your position's
derivatives.
open, yeah. When you put your stop losses. So guys, enter, use your real risk to reward ratio tools. Put your stop loss in, put your take profits in as well. And then from that, we ride it on there strong. Like, let's learn, let's run again. Like, we're feeling good, we're feeling positive, we're catching momentum in the market again. Take advantage of it. Don't be scared. There's news. There's news today now. There's volatility coming. Look to act on it. Prepare yourself, practice, and let's hit it. We got to be prepared when the war comes. You got to be ready to fight. Like that. That's just how it works.
And on the derivatives one, they've actually got the trailing stop loss. Let's just open up a quick long.
Yeah, that is in the. Okay.
Yeah. So here, if you've got one on the derivatives, you can actually just go and add a stop loss in there, or you can just add a trailing. Say, I don't want to lose any money below $500 where the current price is. So I can say 500 and confirm, and it will just automatically, if the price drops below to 500. So you can actually go put $150.
It will basically follow. Yeah, it will follow as it goes.
And that's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fantastic, guys. Remember, if you are opening up, use the links below. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do a BitGate giveaway. We're gonna do it tomorrow. We're gonna do it on BBS. I want to see charts. I want to see snipers. I want to see guys that are there and sharing their vision. Don't be scared. Share your vision, and we'll be 10xing accounts. If you're using the BitGate link below, we'll be 10xing your account. Until then, let's wait for the news. It's in 2 hours. Get the coffee ready. Eat the popcorn. Enjoy the ride, and then once it settles, action it and take the next move. Anything else?
I think that is it. Yeah.
Cool.
Just for the guys who are going to post their charts on the BBS, just maybe put your well, you don't want to actually. We'll be in contact with you. Yeah, we'll message you from there.
Okay. Cool. Much love, Banter fam. I'll see you all tomorrow. James, please hit it right. Thanks, James.
You're not going to sing for us today.
You're the 9th favorite child.
Thanks.